Um, my perspective on the role of the city council is that, and the way I would describe my intent on the city council would be visionary leadership for Santa Fe's sustainable future. I don't think the city council is intended as a management tool for the city. Indeed, we have professional staff that is charged with management, beginning, of course, with the city manager, and obviously on down through the hierarchy of the city. I think the council is intended to provide that visionary leadership, that policy direction for the city, which then gets implemented through the various departments. And so the city council is there promulgating that vision and that direction for the city, and also then holding accountable if that policy and vision is not implemented correctly. Is the Convention and Visitors Bureau, the convention center, doing a good job? I've been to one or two events there, one of which was the Centennial Ball, which, of course, again, my daughter, working at the Centennial Foundation, helped to put on. And when you consider there was an audience of probably about 900 people, I would suspect it all went remarkably well and was a fabulous celebration of our statehood. And so I know they're certainly doing some fabulous events there that certainly appear to work out very well. I don't know the full usage of the facility, haven't really looked at that.
I mean the Bureau more than the facility, which is charged not just with using the facility, but with marketing Santa Fe on a bigger scale.
I think it's the answer, I think, is they're doing a good job from the perspective of people still coming to Santa Fe, and that the people who are in Santa Fe seem to be here during what, at least when I first arrived back in '83, might have been described as, the off-season. So I think there's been a general uptick or a more consistent flow throughout the year. That said, because it's been such a strong component of Santa Fe's fiscal health, it's something we always need to be looking at ways to try and do it better. And so, I don't know who they have contracts with or specifically the extent of the marketing and advertising being done, but clearly that's got to be looked at, at an annual basis to evaluate its effectiveness, to make sure that you're using what I would describe as all the modern tools and mechanisms to make that work. And that's something that at times is challenging for us older folks to really comprehend with the full breadth of social media and Twitter and Flickr and all those various things. But as far as I know, they're certainly using those mechanisms, which I think are critical in this day and age to reaching the audience that you want to reach out to.
Okay.
And then the second part of your question was, should we be looking to
keep tourism as the linchpin of our local economy, or change that?
And my answer would be, I think it's going to remain a significant linchpin of our economy, and so don't see that as necessarily something that will change or that we want to change, because those are significant revenues coming into the business community at many different levels that fund so many jobs across Santa Fe. I remember the sign that used to be out on I-25 back when I first came that would announce 167 or however many restaurants and X number of hotels, and over the years that number would increase. So again, clearly the industry as such was part of Santa Fe's growth. Mm-hmm. That said, you certainly can't ignore any other sector of the economy, and went to the BizMix event last night, which was over at Milagro, and talking with a number of folks involved in different sort of green industry endeavors and programs for youth, and there is a great focus, I think, and a strong entrepreneurial spirit in a significant portion of that young professional business community out there that is interested in sitting down and engaging in constructive dialogue on what we can do to further those efforts of bringing additional business interests into Santa Fe. Clearly, again, in this day and age where technology is so significant in almost any business practice, the reporter's business in the last 20 years has probably changed, light years in terms of the new technologies coming on and how you do your design and layout work and printing and everything else. That certainly holds for the business community, and so more and more folks who are engaged in business that does not tie them to a particular location are looking for to continue their business operations in a place that would not detract from their capacity to do what they need to do, but which is also a place where that has all the attributes that they want to live in. Beautiful mountains, a beautiful cityscape, a size that's human scale and workable. All those things are part of what bring those people to Santa Fe. I would begin by saying, having attended the BizMix event last night, and there were probably 200 to 300 people there, probably 95% of whom fall exactly into that category that you're talking about. And the intention of that group in forming it, I think last night was their 25th session, so they're now a little over two years old. They rarely have less than 200 folks. There are a lot of folks who are interested, who are full of fun ideas. I would love to find a way to ensure that groups like that have a place in this city, and that we can somehow, there's a significant social aspect, obviously, BizMix, but there's a lot of fascinating discussion that goes on about what we can be doing as a city that's would be productive, that would take us exactly to that circumstance where those people feel like this is their city and they're really enjoying it. And I think if you build a cadre of that young professional group that feels that, other people coming in are going to feel that too and want to participate. So somehow, I'd love to explore ways and sit down with the folks who are doing BizMix and talk about how do we capture a lot of the great thinking, a lot of that sort of intellectual capacity, that intellectual fruitfulness that's generated by the ideas being discussed by all these people who are in exactly that position, and then bring them or translate them into programs or ordinances or things that then promote that very type of participation. And they're the most significant example I know of somebody who's trying to do that right this moment in our city, and figuring ways to foster that, I think, would be great.